It is that time of the night where I yell at all of you for a little bit, yelling, "Get off my lawn! Let's make things happen here." It's Dave 101 night.
It's time for Dave 101.
Open the door, it's Dave! Dave, D-A-V-E!
Dave's not here! He's the killer! Yeah! He's the killer! He's a mess.
You know, one of the pet peeves I have about the field of ufology is the word proof. What is proof? Well, we always hear it's about anecdotal evidence and empirical evidence and the differences between the two. But nobody ever seems to have any empirical evidence anymore. So for some reason, we have done the dumbest thing and turned towards the government to give us the answers that we want regarding UFOs. Yep, now it's not UFOs, it's Chinese balloons, spy balloons at that. Yep, F-22 pilots, they are going to make a living now shooting down all of these hundreds of thousands of balloons that are allegedly out there and being called UFOs. But anecdotal evidence is something we do need to talk about. Why? Because here's the irony of it all. Now, you, me, anybody who has an experience out there, our stories mean nothing. Why? Because we have no real proof. We don't have video. We don't have a photograph. And if we did, it would be chopped up and haggled upon for months, if not decades. No. Our anecdotal evidence is not good enough because I'm no one special, and neither are you. Not special enough to have the community of ufology stand behind your back and say, this person is telling the truth. No. That's not allowed in ufology. However, here's the hypocritical part. If you're a pilot in the military, if you're a pilot in the commercial or private airlines, if you are a military service person, police officer, who has a UFO experience, then all of a sudden you are a key eyewitness to a major phenomena, and everybody is buying your story. You may not have the video, you may not have the photograph, and all you may have is a story. But guess what? Yours goes on the top shelf where the rest of ours go in the garbage. This is something that I find quite disrespectful by the UFO community at large right now. Whether you are in top groups like Enigma Labs, MUFON, not so much, or the Galileo Project, they all want to be nuts and bolts. They all want to prove the science behind UFOs. Sure, that's important. But what about the rest? And why are regular people being shunned from such phenomena that has affected them, some of them, their entire lives? There is no difference if you draw a parallel between a regular citizen's anecdotal evidence and a military eyewitness's anecdotal evidence. They are the same. Why are they the same? Because we're both human. Number one, people will say, well, Dave, that's a lame answer. But number two, they may have seen different things or even the same thing. But their words are just as pure. Their descriptions are just as energetic. And this is where we need to start putting time into blending these together. We have to. We don't have a choice. And eventually, the scientific smarty pants out there will catch on because their nuts and bolts aren't going to work. It will only get them so far. But to me, and to many others out there who I've talked to recently, we have to stop putting military on the all high and mighty pedestal when it comes to their reports. I don't care about the witness protection program. I don't care about whistleblowers. You know, I see on UFO Twitter today, everybody's all excited because more pilots are coming forward. And if you listen to the pilots' reports, they're all the same. Vague information, talking about what they saw, couldn't believe it, didn't realize I was engaging a UFO. I'm a great pilot. I protected the nation. I'd put my life on the line, and God bless him and her for that. Okay, because that was my dream that didn't come true. But their anecdotal stories are the same. How much more evidence are they providing compared to, say, someone who gets taken regularly, has the photographs of scoop marks on their legs, or red dotted triangles on their hands, their knees, their elbows, their shoulders, wherever it may be? The more humanity starts to expand, the more we're going to know that this is happening. Our stories need to be told. That is why we try and tell quite a few of them on this show from people just like you. Because we recognize that the phenomena doesn't discriminate or ask for your badge number or ask for your rank and tenure before deciding whether or not it's going to mess with you. No, the phenomena doesn't care if you're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or Space Force. It doesn't care. But the nuts and boltsers out there, they seem to think it's all that matters. No, you can't tell a good story as a civilian, but them in the military, oh, they're telling the truth. They're speaking the truth. Those are stories we can abide by. And the answer from UFO Twitter is actually quite foolish. Because for the majority of them out there, the majority of people out there who come out, what we hear is, you have no evidence, you have no proof, you're just looking for your 15 minutes of fame, and that's it. Whereas the military, oh my God, just because you pilot a $65 million FA-18 Super Hornet, that immediately you are better than me. Well, you're not. Have you called in UFOs? How did that happen? If you had a UFO land in front of you, how did that happen? Have you had something from out there somewhere communicate with your brain? Did these UFOs that you're seeing, these Chinese space balloons spying that you're engaging, if that's what they are, did they at any time send you a telepathic message saying, by the way, your hair looks great under your helmet, or you better turn left because I'm coming to the left on the opposite side? Did they get any of those? Do they have any missing time that seems to force people into disbelieving what happened to them, bringing emotional deconstruction of the situation to them? No, they don't. When's the last time you saw a fighter pilot go missing for 6 hours, come back thinking it was only 5 minutes, and then breaking down because the last thing he or she remembers is seeing a little gray figure walking towards them? No, we're not going to get that. We are not going to get things like that because the military still wants to keep this a big secret. Enigma Labs, who apparently doesn't work with the military, but their owner has military contracts, they don't want to tell you who's investigating your cases. No. Everything wants to be a secret on that side. Ufology isn't a secret, nor should it be. It needs reasoning, it needs understanding, but it also needs credibility, which many in the mainstream still do not give this. Even though we have proven with boatloads of evidence, both on the governmental side and the research aspect side, that it's there right now. But until we get over this nuts and bolts debate from Galileo Project, from SETI, from UAPX, from Arrow, from Enigma Labs, until we get over that, we might be able to move on. Slowly but surely. Watch who you give your reports to. Don't give them to somebody who's got too many secrets out there. If you need to talk to someone, don't do it. It's not worth your time. No, nothing is worth your time right now if you are a civilian. It's not. We're not good enough, according to the government. We're not good enough, according to these research groups. We're just not good enough, even though we likely know more. Just wait until they actually start paying attention to people who've had these incredible downloads, who know nothing about physics or nothing about chemistry or how to fly a craft. And all of a sudden, they start coming up with the mathematical equations to solve some of these new mysteries. It's bound to happen soon. Lots of people have downloads. Many of them haven't been able to translate it or the meaning of it just yet. No, but we're not supposed to be listened to. No, this is all about nuts and bolts fighter pilots. Yep, and that's why we still get called the names. Whether it's people wanting 15 minutes of fame, whether it's the tinfoil hatters, whether it's enthusiasts of the subject. Yeah. Tell Grant Cameron he's an enthusiast after 50 years of research. Tell the same thing to Melinda Leslie or Linda Moulton Howe or Richard Dolan or even the late Stanton Friedman, Peter Robbins. There are dozens of people out there who have given their lives to bring this story out. Good civilian people, okay? Educated people, people who have worked in universities, worked as journalists, worked in science programs, worked as nuclear physicists, writers, authors, people who have given their lives to making this subject one of conversation. But as we see the government and all of these scientists trying to put it all back, this is where the UFO community needs to gather and stay strong. Sure, they can exploit it. Sure, they can take advantage of what's going on. But it's up to the community to police itself. It's the way hockey used to be when the players police themselves. Yeah, you would get a few fights every now and again, but there was always more respect in the next game. That's what we need to see here. And it may come down to the fact where the civilian side, the enthusiast side, needs to drop the gloves a little bit. Then and only then, maybe we'll actually get paid attention to. And the phenomena will actually show that it takes more than just a couple of wrenches and a screwdriver to work on these nuts and bolts. That is your Dave 101. Thank you so much for tuning us in. If you have a comment, just if you're on YouTube, give us a comment down below. It really helps with our algorithms, and we'd appreciate that. If you're listening on the radio, let us know what you think via Twitter or go on our YouTube page and let us know, or our Facebook page, Spaced Out Radio. And that's it.